Hello again guys, it is me, the Fury Hearted, and welcome back to another Blender video. Today is going to be a tutorial on how to make anything look like the Stranger Things title. This video was originally made because a while ago I made a Stranger Things remake, and I figured out a way to make my visualizer look red like the title. So I'm going to share this pretty simple trick with you guys, in case you ever want to do something with it. So here we go. I'm going to start off here with this plain block, because really it doesn't matter what you have. You can do this with text or pretty much anything. So what you're going to do is you're going to add a modifier called bevel. Now this is originally used to make things kind of rounded off, but for our purposes it can actually be used to make an outline. So what you're going to first want to do is change this to angle, because otherwise if you had like extra loops around this block, it would make the loop stand out too much. So we're going to change this to angle to prevent that. You don't have to mess with this any further. What you really want to do is change this material number to 1, because that will allow the outline to be a different color than the actual cube. So you can go ahead and increase the segments enough to kind of round it off if you want. In order to make this thin enough, we're going to need to change the width to about 0.1. We get a nice fine line, so you can see that. Now for the colors. We're going to add 2 new materials. One of them we're just going to call transparent, and the other light, because that's pretty much defines what each of these does. The transparent, just go ahead and change the diffuse to a transparency, and then make sure the color is 100% white. Otherwise, if you go into rendered mode, it'll appear as a slightly transparent thing, and we don't want that. So in the light category, which has to be below transparent, by the way, it has to be below it, we're going to change the diffuse to an emission, and then change the color to whatever we want. In this case, for Stranger Things, a bright red. There we go. So now if we go into rendered mode, we should see a red outline. And there it is, the red outline. I don't know why it's not showing up in the material mode, but it should work perfectly fine in rendered. Oh wait, I just had to update it with something. Okay, never mind. So yeah, that's pretty much how you do it. You just make 2 materials like this, and a bevel that is thin enough to create a pretty thin red line. You can also add on to this by making the world completely black, like in the Stranger Things title. For the purposes of this tutorial, I will actually recreate the title right here and now. Since we've already got the materials we need, we can pretty much just take the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the cursor is at the center by hitting Shift S and sending cursor to center. So we're going to add Shift A, text, and let's go ahead and rotate it by hitting R, and then hit X to rotate along the X axis, and hit 90, or type in 90. That way our text is facing straight up. Over here in the settings, I'm going to go ahead and open up the font that the Stranger Things use, which I will link down below. It's called Ben Guyat Bold. I don't know why. There we go. So now we've got our Stranger Things font. So now what we need to do is go tab, backspace all of this. You can hit caps lock if you want. Stranger, enter, Things. And then you can hit tab to save that. Now of course it's not going to look right here. So what we're going to do is go into these settings and set the horizontal alignment to center. And there we go. The text is centered. So now for the purposes of making the material light up, we're going to need to extrude this out a bit so that it's not entirely flat like this. So you don't really need to extrude this very far. You can literally hit it to like 0.001, just enough to get a tiny little edge, like right there. The only issue with text is that it has its own built-in bevel. So what I do is I go into the object, convert to mesh from curve, whatever this is, text. And now if we hit tab, it turned the entire thing into a bunch of mesh and faces. Now if we were to go ahead and add in the bevel modifier here, you can see that not much happens. In fact, it looks a little distorted, and that's because it has way too many vertices than it should. So what we're going to do first is go into tab, select all of the faces, go into mesh, clean up, and remove doubles. It removed 10,000 vertices. That's way more than is needed. So now if we go out of tab, the curves are a lot more cleaner. Now all you need to do is just turn the width up to about 1, because this doesn't work very well with that for some reason. And now we change our material to 1 and set this to angle, by the way, very important. So now by adding in our materials, transparent and light, if we go into rendered mode now, you can see that we get a red outline over the text. Now of course this is not the best, so what we're going to do, we're going to go into edit mode by hitting tab again, set our view to the top. First you need to make sure you're focused in on the object hit F to focus. And I don't know why I made it this thick. Zoom in a bit if you have to. So first you need to hit the Z key in order to go into transparent mode, and hit the B key and just hit the tiniest little edge of these vertices, and it should only select the back. So now if we move this to Y, should make our letters a little bit thicker, and our letters are in fact thicker. You'll have to tweak this in order to get it 100% right. I'm not entirely sure why the red is not appearing very well here, but you can figure it out on your own if you want to. This is pretty much as far as I'm gonna go. I'm not exactly sure why this font is so tricky. Hopefully this was helpful for you, and if it was, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more tutorials or music or whatever else I may upload. And I may be getting an Instagram probably pretty soon, so I'll link that below and in my about page. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.